All right, so welcome to the call, family. Super excited to have you all here. And then we have a guest speaker that I asked to come in and speak with us tonight from compliance. And I think it's just really important. We all love Beachbody and we want Beachbody to stay around. And I feel like a lot of times people are afraid of compliance. And they're really just trying to keep us safe and in business and protect us and protect the company. And so I asked Jemima to come on and share some of the things that maybe are new or things that we just need to know to make sure that we're abiding by the rules, doing the right thing, doing right by our business and Beachbody. So if you have questions, like write them down, put them in the chat. I'm sure we'll have time at the end for a few, but I just kind of asked her to come on and share a little bit with us to just help us be better coaches. So, hi, Jemima. Are you on?
Yeah, I
am. Okay, yeah. Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. So, I'm not sure what your kind of thoughts are, if you have a sort of a presentation that you go through or how that works. But also, hi, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Yeah, we're excited that you're here. So were you thinking that it would be Q&A, or do you kind of have?
I have a few things. I'll probably take 5 minutes-ish, 5 to 10 minutes, but happy to answer any questions, whether it's now or later, whatever works for you guys. And most importantly, thank you. I really appreciate the invitation. I'm grateful to have the chance to chat with you guys tonight. And no question is off limits, so feel free later at any point. Happy to chat at any time. Wanted to give you, just to Ashley's point, some top things that are sort of circulating right now in terms of policies and sort of what's taking precedence given not only Beachbody policy, but just what's in the marketplace for direct sales. And it really comes down to probably 4 to 5 areas that are really of key interest right now. The top two are product claims and income claims. So number one being income claims. From a regulator standpoint, a regulating agency like the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, attorneys general, who are the lead attorney for the state, any number of agencies similar to that, or consumer watchdog groups, they're looking out to see how people in the direct sales space, are making claims about their financial success. So whether you're representing Beachbody as a distributor or any other company, where you see people making wild claims about their financial success, taking pictures of themselves in a brand new car, convertible, loaded with cash sitting around them, things that just look ridiculous, that's what they're looking for. But it doesn't always have to be that blatant. And so that's where we're coming in to try to help you all understand sort of what your safe space is for talking about your success, because talking about your success, whether it's your success with a fitness program or your nutritional results or financially, it's an important part of who you are and what you take pride in and your achievements. So we want you to be able to celebrate that, but we want to put up some safety rails for you. So when it comes to income claims, if you're making a statement about a particular earning, whether you're saying, hey, wouldn't it be nice to earn an extra $100 a week, or hey, I'm so grateful I'm earning an extra $50 a week or $500 a month, or whatever that number is, if you're making a particular statement about a particular figure, you always want to make sure that you're putting in the income disclaimer. You'll find the income disclaimer listed in the policies and procedures, but you can also find it in our compliance top 10 article in the coach FAQs. And that article is 4057. So that's a really great article to reference if you ever have any sort of burning compliance issues. As a good place to start if you don't feel like reading the 50-page P&P, because Lord knows I don't like reading the 50-page P&P unless I have insomnia. So income claims, when you're giving a particular number, always include that disclaimer. There are some statements where you're promoting something. It might not be your personal results, but you're trying to drive interest, trying to drive excitement. There are some kinds of claims that just can't be disclaimed away from an earnings statement. So statements about a luxury lifestyle. I just bought this brand new beach mansion thanks to Beachbody. I bought it in all cash, things like that. The earnings disclaimer doesn't really wash away the perceived suspicion around statements like that. So what I always say to coaches is, if you have a particular story you want to tell about your own success, about the success of somebody on your team, about your team in general, and you want to make a statement about financial achievement, Craft your post, craft your story, and if you ever have questions as to whether or not you need something other than the standard income disclaimer, reach out to our team. We'll review it with you, help you finesse it, maybe help you tailor or edit it if needed, but hopefully keep you out of the yucky sort of murky pond of wild financial claims. Important to note for those of you who are either outside the US as a UK or US or Canadian coach, or have people in your downline who are outside of the US, the income disclaimer for the UK in particular is very different than ours for the US and Canada. So if you do have UK coaches, please make sure that you don't necessarily direct them to use the same statement that you might as a US or Canadian coach. The UK has particular laws, and so our statement is much different for the UK. It means the same thing, but it's worded in a way that they will necessarily use it in their sort of sales nomenclature for that market. So to follow income claims, then we have product claims. So I drank Shakeology, now I don't have to take my blood pressure medication anymore, or I drank my Shakeology every day and now I don't have diabetes. Again, thrilled to see what results people are having from products, from workouts, from a better lifestyle, from a better healthy approach to their daily routine, but we can't ever associate taking a product or drinking a product or taking a vitamin or putting a lotion on that it has a curative result. So where you see product claims, and pardon my close-up example, but I always have bags of Shakeology in my office. But if you look at our Shakeology bag, along the side it'll say specific statements about what it might help. Those are claims that we've vetted out that have been clinically studied. Those are also the same claims that you'll see in our product training guides or within your Coach Online office. Those are claims you can use when you're talking in your own social media page, certain promotions you want to make about maybe the excitement around a new flavor, the launch of a new product. We're always going to provide you with approved claims. When it comes to your statements from your experience, saying something like, I'm working out now and I'm drinking Shakeology, I feel so much healthier, very general. You're not saying it cures something. You're not saying you had a disease that it fixed or improved a chronic condition. But you can't correlate putting something in your body from a nutritional standpoint to it having a certain effect. So please, in general, even if you're having improvements in your own health, you have to stay away from the, I drank this, so now I don't have to take this, or I drank this and now I don't have this anymore. Of particular interest, I think right now, or of late, has been a lot of gastrointestinal issues that a lot of people talk about just in the marketplace. And you see this across a lot of nutritional supplements that are in the direct sales space. I drink this, I don't have IBS anymore, or my IBS is better, or this is, I don't have an upset stomach, or you name it. Nothing we provide to you cures a medical condition. So that's a good place to stay out of. And where it comes to product and income claims, we're constantly looking at social media. We use a variety of different vendors and tools for that so that we can help review that. So if we reach out to you and ask you to tweak a post, we'll give you specific direction. In some cases, we may ask you to remove it entirely. But if you ever get an email from us and you have questions, if you're concerned by what we're asking or if something doesn't make sense, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're always happy to have a chat with you, try to explain anything. I know sometimes the language is lengthy and maybe a little bit confusing depending upon the situation. So we're here to be a resource, and don't ever hesitate to ask. As a follow-up to product and income claims, probably the third most popular topic within the coach world is probably the use of your credit card and something we refer to as bonus buying. So Beachbody has a credit card policy that is more commonly referred to both by us at corporate and within the coach community as U+2. As a coach, you can use your credit card to pay for your own account, plus 2 other family members that are either a parent, a spouse, or a child. They can be a coach in your organization, or they can be a customer in your organization. You can pay for their business service fees. You can pay for their product orders that they're getting. Anything associated with their account you can cover, again, if they're a parent, spouse, or child. If they're your dog, you can't enroll them as a coach. If they're your best friend that's like a sister, they can certainly be a part of your team, but you can't use your card there. And the associated part of that is where people are using their card or tempted to use their card to pay for somebody else, we know 99.9% of the time it's because you truly want to help someone. Maybe they don't have a card right now. Maybe they lost their card. Maybe they're struggling financially and you want to help them with something. If you want to help somebody and purchase something for them, purchase it in your own Coach account. Log in as you would as a coach, place an order. If I want to buy Ashley something and I want to buy her an extra bag of chocolate Shakeology, I'll log into my Coach account, I'll place an order. Her address goes on the delivery address. It's in my own account. I'm not creating any unnecessary inflated volume. Ashley's getting her product that she wants and everything's good. If you have a situation where you're using your credit card outside of that policy, or if you're using your card on an account that we don't necessarily correlate, that might be your spouse, maybe your mom or your dad or a child, we don't necessarily know who you're related to, we're going to reach out. We run transactional reports through our financial transaction and fraud management team. They review financial transactions, not just for fraud, but for a variety of reasons. But they're going to give us a weekly report. And so you may see that either you get an email from us directly or you're copied for one of your PS coaches as their sponsor, just to clarify, hey, is this your spouse? Is this a relation to you as a U+2? If it is, we just need to hear who they are related to you. We'll note your account, be done with it. If they're not somebody that falls into that category, we're going to ask you to help us by reaching out to that person and have them provide their own form of payment so that they're responsible for their own account moving forward. And the reason we enforce this credit card policy so significantly and that it's constantly something we're following up on is as it relates to bonus buying. And bonus buying is where you're either creating fake accounts with unreal people's names, where there might be something where you just need to keep somebody active or keep somebody with their business service fee or keep them at a certain rank so that you can maintain or elevate your rank. There's all sorts of things that bonus buying does, but what that's considered is propping. And from a more basic standpoint, from language that reads more familiar with people who have come into a direct sales position, is you may hear about pyramid schemes and anti-pyramiding rules. The bonus buying policy is to protect us as an organization from that. We don't ever want to be in harm's way. So again, with anything, if you have a unique situation where you're not sure if you could use your card for someone or on a different account that is outside of a parent, spouse, or child, just reach out to us. If there's a way that we can afford you some sort of different approach or make some other suggestion, we'll work with you to find a solution. But we're a little bit limited in that area because we do need to make sure that we're keeping our network in a situation where you're a legitimate distributor with a legitimate team with real customers and real end users. We want to stay out of that sort of murkiness of what can be considered violations in that area. And it's literally something when teams are propping each other up like that, that's the kind of thing that especially from an agency like the FTC, they'll literally walk in, as we think about maybe in the movies where you see a group of guys walk in with windbreakers and they walk into an office and they're like, everybody up from their desk. And everybody walks away and they literally shut down companies. And they do this in the direct sales space. It's not very often, but there's certain cases that those of us who work on the corporate side are very familiar with. That's why we always want to make sure we explain our policies, help you understand these policies, and realize that we're not just asking just to make things more difficult or more complicated, but we truly want you guys to have the most amazing business opportunity that you can, and that you feel like you have policies that you understand, can teach your teams, and you can operate a really great, successful business with. So income claims, product claims, credit card usage, bonus buying. If you don't use your credit card outside of that U+2 allowance, you should have no worries about being in the bonus buying space. If you're using your credit card within those policies for yourself, plus 2 people that are either a parent, spouse, or child, you shouldn't hear from us at all except to clarify who you're related to and how you're related to that person. But it's a simple response, and we can take care of correcting things easily or noting accounts for you, and it's something that we're constantly looking at and reaching out on. So don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions if something doesn't make sense. And please just respond to those notices if you get them directed towards you. If you get copied on one for your PS coach and you happen to know their relationship, we often will have a sponsor reach out and say, oh, that's so-and-so's husband or wife or father, whatever. We appreciate the fact that you know that, but we always want to hear from the person whose card is being used, because then we're hearing from the business owner themselves. So if you write back on someone else's behalf, we'll kindly thank you, but we'll ask them to have the direct contact from the person whose card is being used. So other than those 4 fun points, I would say the last thing I'll highlight tonight, and then ask you guys questions if you have any, or answer any questions if you have any, is non-solicitation. There's been a lot of discussion over the years here about how we allow our coaches to be distributors in other businesses, other direct sales businesses. And for those of you who have been with Beachbody for a few years, you may have known that we've had some pretty tight policies over participation in other direct sales companies as a distributor. Obviously, be a customer and buy whatever product as a customer you want to, but we've had some pretty tight reins on participating in other direct sales businesses while you're a coach with Beachbody. We've recently refined that policy and opened the door a little bit in terms of where that conflict comes into play. So just as a reminder, because this has changed recently, for our coach network, if you have a lifetime rank, that means the highest paid rank you've ever achieved, your lifetime rank is diamond or below, you may be a Beachbody coach and you may be a distributor in another direct sales company at the same time. If you can balance 2 or 3 different distributor roles, good on you. It's a lot of effort. Obviously, the more you're trying to build, the greater you're trying to build your team, whether with us or someone else. You've got a lot of time to spend on those efforts, and obviously your time is very valuable, and you all have families and work and life that you're trying to balance, so we want to take that into consideration. So again, diamond or below, you can participate as a distributor elsewhere. If you're a star diamond coach with a lifetime rank of star diamond or above, whether it's 1-star diamond or 15-star diamond, at that point, we ask that you only be a distributor for Beachbody. Again, you're welcome to be a customer in any other organization, but not be in another distributor role in the direct sales, multi-level marketing space. Where it comes to other businesses that you might have, whether it's a regular professional role that you're in, whether you're a dietitian, whether you're a nutritionist, whether you're a hairstylist, whether you're a plumber, whatever you are, whatever role you fill, there's nothing that prohibits you from being in another career. But where you do have a business that complements your Beachbody business, say you're a fitness instructor for a gym, say you're a registered dietitian, say you're a nutritionist of some kind, or you're a healthcare consultant, you're welcome to have that business that complements your Beachbody business. We just ask that you don't target your Beachbody team, so you don't send emails to your customers and to your coaches soliciting your services in this complementary business. If people come to you and say, hey, Ashley, I know you're a registered dietitian, I'd really love some help with X, Y, and Z, and somebody seeks you out because they know your skill set and your capabilities and your services, great. But don't blast it on your team page. Don't send your team or your entire downline of hundreds or thousands of people a notice about some special that you're running in your boot camp and offer them some special deal. We want to try to keep your ability to operate other businesses going on, but we want to also maintain the Beachbody community that you have for Beachbody. And a lot of the customers that come to you, or the coaches that come to you, they come to you because of your Beachbody affiliation. And then they learn about you, they learn about who you are and what other things you do. But most of the time we find that if they've come to you to form a relationship over Beachbody, they really don't want to be marketed a million other things. You posting about something on social media that you love something, or you're using a new product that you really like and it's really great, isn't it awesome? Absolutely. Product reviews, no problem. But again, no targeted direct marketing of other services that you offer, of other products that you might sell outside of the direct sales space. Just be mindful of the idea of solicitation. Just like you don't like getting called at dinner time, other people don't like getting emails constantly about what you can sell them outside of Beachbody. So just keep that in mind. And then one final thing I would say is, if you have a chance, as you're looking through or starting to become more familiar with the Beachbody Coach policies and procedures, take a look at the Beachbody Coach Code of Ethics. It's towards the beginning of the P&P section. I think it's 1.7. You can keep me honest on that. But it's a really great sort of catch-all with some general sort of like, think about how you sort of operate on a daily basis. Be nice to one another, be respectful of one another, be supportive of one another, run an ethical business. You all know we've all come along and across as a consumer, you've come along to businesses where you sort of walked out sort of feeling icky, or maybe that somebody's trying to take advantage of you. We work really hard for our reputation. You all are amazing representatives of our brand, and you take such great pride in your businesses, and we are so fortunate to have that. We want to keep that reputation, not only for your ability to continue to build a really dynamic team and to attract new members to your team, but so that there's never a question as to our intent or our good judgment or the quality of our services or the quality of our community. We hold you guys in such high regard. We want to do everything we can to protect your reputation, to protect our brand, to protect your own personal brands that you're building. So take a look at that as you have time, and if you ever have questions about any sort of specific call outs, whether in that particular section or anything related to the P&P, our door is virtually always open by email, and we are in the office 5 days a week. We're not like coach relations and customer service. We don't work 24/7. It's just me and a team of 4 against the 360,000 of you. So we only work during the week, but we're here 6 to 6 Pacific time, Monday through Friday, and we're always happy to talk to you. Nothing is off limits. Nothing is too embarrassing to ask. Please just ask, and we're happy to help with anything, whatever concern or question you have. What answer for you?
Okay, there were a couple that came in the chat, and then I wrote down a couple as well. And I just wanted to get a little clarification on the income disclaimer, because you kind of said, like, use the income disclaimer when it's, you know, like talking about this, like, you know, I was able to afford this, blah, 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 blah. And then you said it might not be enough if it's a very dramatic post, like I bought this house cash, oceanfront. I don't see like anything like that on the team, but can you clarify, like, we should be putting the income disclaimer on every single post where we reference anything about income, or like how, you know, how often do we need to be including that?
Great question. So when it comes to the statements that you're making in your posts, if you make a statement like, my life has improved so much since I've joined Team Beachbody. I'm so grateful for my community, my team, my whatever, and that there's never any discussion of income. My quality of life is so much better. You could be making a statement about the fact that you're earning an income. You could mean that you're happier and healthier because you're working out or eating better, whatever it might be. If you're not bringing in money into the picture, no need to use the income disclaimer. When a regulator looks at an income claim, they're looking at either a direct claim like, wow, I made $1,000 this week and I didn't have to do anything. This is amazing. Or something that's a little bit more subtle. I took my family on this amazing family vacation. I could have never afforded to do this until I became a Team Beachbody coach. You're not saying you're earning X number of dollars a week, which afforded you the opportunity to take your family to Disneyland, but you are saying, oh my gosh, I earned this money because I'm a Team Beachbody coach, and look at this cool thing I got to do now, which is what they refer to as an implied claim. So to your point, Ashley, whether you're making a claim where you're giving a dollar figure or you're referencing an implied claim about the income that you earned as a coach, always use that disclaimer. The other thing I would say to that is, don't post pictures of your checks.
Yeah, I don't think this team's doing that, but yeah.
It's rare we see it anymore these days, but occasionally people do it, and I get it. You're excited, and it's something to celebrate, and I totally get it. But if you think about it, if you were outside of the direct sales space and you were in a different job, you know, whether you're self-employed or whether you're like me and work for a company, I would never go and post my paycheck on my Facebook page. It's just, it leaves that sort of icky feeling. So again, it's rare these days that we see it, but sometimes when somebody does it, people sort of follow suit because they think it's fun and exciting, and it's a great way to congratulate and see a real number. We would prefer you not post your income.
And then as far as in private groups, like if you're running a sneak peek, same thing applies, right? You need to be referencing it.
Same thing applies. Think of it this way, whether you're running a sneak peek group, which is a great way, I think, for somebody to get a grasp of what you might do on a daily basis, whether you want to invest in this full time or an hour a day, or whether you were having an opportunity meeting during a super Saturday, or sorry, a super weekend now, excuse me. Gotta remind myself. Those are the kind opportunity meetings, whether in person or sneak peeks, more virtual opportunities to look under the hood in a business. Just consider that anybody that comes into that may come in with the intent of truly trying to explore the business opportunity for themselves, or they may be looking for yuck. So you always want to make sure that you're keeping the same standard, whether you're talking internally with your team, posting things on a team page, running a sneak peek group, having an opportunity meeting. Always make sure that you're not making unfounded claims or unsubstantiated claims.
Okay, perfect. So there was a question about siblings. It's just parent, spouse, or child, and they need to be living in your house. Is that right?
From a spouse standpoint, because we assume that in most cases your spouse or partner lives with you, we know we have extenuating circumstances with people on military service, things of that nature. We're asking for same household. From a parent standpoint, we know that sometimes parents may live with you and they may live across the country. So from a parent standpoint, not a requirement. Again, from a child perspective, we're assuming it's an adult child, not your 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So yes, whether they're in the same household with you as a post-college looking for my first real job sort of kid, or otherwise, whether they live with you or live on their own, if they're your kid, that's fine.
Great. Okay. Stacy said, can I simply say Shakeology helps my digestion? She has Crohn's disease, but it's never claimed it's cured it, but it does help my digestion. So is that?
So that's a great question. I love that because it's a real life example. And it sounds completely innocent, but it's still stating that it's having a curative effect on something. And digestion could be just like, my energy I have better energy, I'm sleeping better. You'll notice that the claims we make are where they're not specific to a study or a clinical that we've completed, they're more sort of general in statement. So as an example from the Shakeology bag, supports healthy weight loss. It doesn't say it helps you lose a pound a week. But to your point, and I'm sorry, is it Stacy that had the question?
Yeah.
Sorry, Stacy. Our bag particularly right now says help support regularity and healthy digestion. So that's an approved claim that we have. One important point to make, when you're using the approved claims that we have in our product training guides, you'll also notice that it includes a requirement, and this language is also in the PNP and also in that FAQ that I pointed out. But as an example, you'll see it on all our nutritionals, and I know this is way too small to see, but just as a point of reference, on our bag or on our boxes, you'll see that there's FDA disclaimer language that's generally outlined in a box. When you're making an approved claim, that's part of our approved claims that are in your product training guides or that are on our packaging. If you're in the US, you always have to use that FDA disclaimer language, because you're still having to say, we know this works, or we know this helps, or it may have an effect on this, but these aren't approved by the FDA. So that language always needs to be there. So those are the sorts of things that where we see the claims made, we may ask you just to add that disclaimer, revise the claim, remove the claim, or sort of restate, or try to find an approved way that you can tell your story, but be out of harm's way. That FDA language is only for the US. Canada has a similar agency they call Health Canada, which is their FDA equivalent, but they don't have a similar language requirement. So since most of our coaches are still within the US, this is sort of the overarching thing that you'll see in 99% of probably the promotional materials that you all see.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I guess similar to the income disclaimer, Nikki asked, is there a general medical disclaimer for things that are not Shakeology, like performance line? Like, I mean, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, Nikki, but can you say, you know, it helps my sore muscles post-workout, it energize, gives me energy, like those basic things?
Great question. So Nikki, with regards to that, it's anything, we have approved claims for everything that we have that's nutritional. So when you look in your coach office and find the product training guides, you'll see that there are things relative to Shakeology, also to Beachbody Performance, other things that we might have coming down the pike. You know, anytime we put out something that's new, that's going to go in your gullet instead of, you know, working out to something or food that you might put into a container. I'm on the Ultimate Portion Fix bandwagon right now. I have my lovely container of blueberries here with me this evening. You're definitely going to want to make sure that you're still within that approved claim space. If, to your point, Nikki, you have questions about a particular product that you're using within the performance line and you're having trouble finding something that's applicable to the story that you want to share, or you have questions about what's current, always reach out. We're happy to help. But there is, on every group, there's always a related set of claims that we've approved.
Okay. Moving on to working with other companies or being distributors.
Yes.
Are you able to, so there's two questions here. Are you able to be like signed up for a discount? You know, like I enrolled with Young Living, and I since canceled because I didn't use their oils enough, but I enrolled with whatever their program is to get like rebates on my oils, but I never talked about it or promoted it. So are you able to enroll in that capacity?
Great question. So a lot of direct sales companies, including Beachbody at one point, have a preferred customer program. We used to have something where we had a thing called Club, which some of you might be familiar with, where you weren't a coach, but you paid a certain quarterly fee and got a 10% discount as opposed to the coach wholesale price. We don't have any problem with you being a preferred customer if there is truly a opportunity of that sort. Be aware, if the reason you're getting a discount is because you're technically a distributor, you're a distributor. Think of it from the aspect of sort of the nomenclature that coaches have created of this whole discount coach thing. For us, there's just one thing. You're either a coach or a customer. So if somebody's a coach with us, whether you're earning money or not earning money, you're still a coach if you have a coach account. From our standpoint, with your participation in other direct sales organizations, if you're a distributor with them or a representative or a brand partner, they call it 18 different things. If you're in that distributor role, if you're not just a preferred customer or a regular customer, then that is still a potential concern if you're in that star, diamond, and above space.
Okay. And then for anybody, I guess diamond or below, is there any concern about being a distributor for a competing company?
No, great question though. For sure, I would say Beachbody, as well as many other companies in our sort of health and fitness, supplement, certainly essential oils, the advent of all the CBD product that's floating about in our space right now. There's been a lot of thought initially of like, if you're representing this area of business, we don't want you in a competing company that offers the same or similar products. We have no problem if you're a distributor for another health and fitness company, again, if you're diamond or below. Mm-hmm. But remember too that you don't want to ever bundle one with the other. So, wow, great deal from me this week. You can buy my Shakeology pumpkin spice that's on special and my HempWorks CBD oil. Don't put our product together with other direct sales product. You can have this business and have that business, but you're not bundling things. You're not making your own challenge packs from other companies' product and our product sort of mushed together. Whether you're promoting it that way, whether you were physically offering it that way, whether you go to a trade show and you're marketing everything together on one grand table for your Beachbody business, your Young Living business, and your HempWorks business, where it comes to marketing our product, we want you to market ours as sort of a standalone. But to your point, you can absolutely be in another direct sales business as a distributor that's in a similar product or service space.
Okay. Oh, I think this is a great question. Megan asked about people switching coaches. So she said, what are specifics when it comes to the customer of another coach when they come to you and want to switch? How do you do that and make sure you're not poaching? Are there poaching rules, or is that just basically ethics?
Well, I would say it's basically ethics, right? So if somebody comes to you and they're like, wow, Ashley, I've been following you on social media. You have changed my life. I really want to do X with you. I want to get into your challenge group for morning meltdown when it comes out. How do I join your team? I would always suggest you say to someone, you know what, I would love to help you. Are you a Beachbody customer, or are you a coach with Beachbody already? And you'll know immediately. They'll either be like, oh yes, I am, or they'll go, and they'll do a little hesitate, sort of like, what do I say? Always, if it's a customer, I would say direct them back to their coach. As a customer, our customers can always change the coach that they work with at any time. If I like Ashley this week and the next week I like Rachel better because I like her t-shirt and she smiles more, awesome. As a customer, I can join her team instead. But from just an ethical standpoint, as you were referring to, Ashley, if you reach out and sort of push them back, if they are working with a coach already, if you push them back to their original coach, or at least ask the question, have you talked to your coach about, how she can help you further or how he can help you further? And as a customer, if they want to change to you, at least you've done your due diligence, you've asked the questions, you've tried to encourage them back to their team. As a coach, if a coach is coming to you from another team and they're like, oh my gosh, my coach, crazy, like I need to be in a different team, we don't have the same flexibility because obviously our coaches are within our genealogy, whereas our customers don't sit within the genealogy. So as your organization builds out and it gets larger and your team spreads out deeper into multiple levels, the ability to sort of shift you around and reassign you affects far more than just you, which is why we have the restriction on sponsor changes that we do. Are there sponsor changes that we approve? There's always going to be the random exception, but it is very, very rare. It's really the most exigent of circumstances. But if you ever feel like you have a concern that you want to address, reach out to us. We're going to ask you for a lot of information. We're going to ask you to substantiate the concerns that you have, whether do you have text messages, is there a particular call that you had, is there an event that took place? We're going to ask you a lot of information, but at the same time, we're going to keep your confidence and not necessarily hang up the phone with you and call Ashley and be like, oh my gosh, Ashley, I heard last week you did such and such, or you said such and such. We want to work with you in a professional and respectful way, and we want to give you your options so that you can consider how we can resolve it. If you want our help in just getting some ideas so that you can go back to whether it's your sponsor or another teammate and address a conflict or a concern on your own, great, we're here to help you do that. If you want our help actually being involved, we can absolutely help you and be the sort of sounding board for both of you. We're going to try to remain neutral and give you guys the best sort of suggestions that we can to resolve the problem at hand. And then if that just isn't it for you, there are people that get to a point for whatever reason as their business changes, as their life changes, where they may want to make a change of team. We'll walk you through what's required. We'll walk you through the timeframes, what it means for your coach discount. Does it interrupt your BOD service? Does it any sort of those kinds of questions, just account-wise, or what do I have the rights to do, or how do I get into another challenge group, or what if I lose this benefit? Any of those questions we can always review with you. Always happy to address the concerns early on. Don't let yourself get to that breaking point if you're frustrated by something. If you reach out to your sponsor and the two of you can't seem to work it out, whether it's an issue between the two of you or you're seeking her or his guidance about a question that you have about a team matter or just a matter with another coach that's in another organization, if you can't solve it, we're always here to try to help. We're going to ask you a lot of information. We're going to ask you to be totally candid with us, but we want to help you. We want to facilitate a solution for you that's good for everybody. And we're so much more effective being proactive with you and having that great business partnership with you than having to come in at the sort of 11th hour when everybody's about to tear their hair out or there's some sort of critical deadline brewing. So you have our confidence, and we will keep your information confidential. And if there's something we need to share that's been a part of the conversation we have with you, we'll discuss that with you first so that you can make a decision as to how you want to move forward in any sort of resolution. We're never going to disclose something confidential that you told us without getting your permission. If there's truly a legal reason we need to disclose it to somebody else, I will tell you that first, or my team will tell you that first. It should never be a surprise to you. So use us as a sounding board and know that we have complete and utter respect for what you guys do. And we really want to help you find that sort of best solution to conquer any sort of challenge you may encounter in your business.
Ash, oh,
Yep.
can I ask a question? I was going to type it, but it's really confusing.
Yeah.
So I've never run into this before, but I had a coach cancel, and because I know there's a whole 6-month waiting period thing. She
Right.
canceled, and then like her spouse account, he canceled, and then a couple of her friends canceled after. Well, she recently signed back up. Can they sign back up under her, not wait the 6 months since they were originally hers and they were just like passed down to me since they weren't mine? You know what I mean? Or do they need to wait 6 months because they were passed down to me?
So let me make sure I understand the details, Emily, just so that I have the facts straight.
Yeah.
So this was for somebody that was your PS coach or somebody that you inherited?
No, my PS coach.
Okay. So I was your PS coach. I quit.
Mm-hmm.
I signed back up.
Mm-hmm.
But this time I signed back up with Ashley.
No, you signed up with me again.
I signed back up with you?
Yeah.
And you're asking if their previous PS coaches can come back to them?
Like if their previous PS like canceled and wanted to sign back up with them.
Oh, great
Once I
question.
inherited.
That's a really great question. Let me see if I can explain this simply. I'd say that there's a few situations that we run into that sort of sit in this space. So I'll give a couple examples and see if that helps. If my PS coach quits and signs back up with me, and to Emily's point, their PS coaches have quit along the way, they can come back to them because, again, they're coming back to their same sponsor. So our guideline for re-enrolling is if I want to cancel and re-enroll, but I don't want to wait the 6 months, I'm coming back to my same sponsor, same side of the leg. So if I'm outside right with Emily, I come back outside right. It doesn't mean I necessarily come back in the same spot. So pardon my random hand movements, but if I was over here and I quit, I would still come back on her right side. Obviously, I'm farther down in the genealogy because I'm opening up a new business center. So I don't come back to my previous spot in the genealogy, but I come back on the same side of the leg. And I'm rejoining my same sponsor. So Emily, to your point, their PS coaches that quit with them, if your PS coach re-enrolls with you, they can come back to them because they're coming back to their original sponsor like I did to you. Does that help?
Totally.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And then the other thing I would say that happens sort of frequently that I'll share is just if I have a PS coach who quits and I inherit their personally sponsored coaches, often the question becomes, what happens when those people then want to be somewhere else? They are sometimes under the opinion that my sponsor went away. I should be able to go back to anybody, whether it's just to their upline who inherited me, whether it's to an entirely separate organization, or maybe a teammate in the community because their sponsor left. The only allowance for re-enrolling before 6 months is up is if you're going back to your same sponsor. The only time that differs is if you've resigned and your sponsor quits in the meantime. So I cancel my account. Emily was my sponsor. God forbid, tomorrow Emily quits. Now I decide I want to come back. If I'm going to come back and not wait 6 months, I need to go to Emily's sponsor. I don't go to team over here. I still stay in my organization because I'm not waiting 6 months, but I am allowed to go to the next person up line.
And just want to add to that. that, because I've seen this happen where people will sign up, they'll be like, oh, well, they were able to sign up, so I guess it's fine. So what will happen, you guys, if they have not waited their 6 months, maybe the system allows them to sign up, but compliance will find them and then cancel them at that point. Then it starts their clock over, right? Like they have to wait another 6 months. So just encourage people to wait the 6 months, enroll with you as a customer. They can be in your groups, but don't have them sign up their spouse either, right? What is the situation with that? Like they should not, because you can't work a business center for someone else, correct?
Right. So to your point, Ashley, and thank you for raising that, if their spouse truly wants to be a coach and is going to be the coach, obviously their spouse can enroll. But to Ashley's point, it's not, oh, I got to wait 6 months. You know what, honey, will you sign up? You don't have to do anything. Just put your name in there and I'll work the business. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. And to Ashley's point, yes, we do have some system flaws. I'd love to say our tech is 100% on point, but will our system allow you at times to re-enroll prior to when you're eligible? Yes. Just because the system lets you doesn't mean you should. So we do run regular reports for re-enrollment. So we'd rather not have to start somebody over on their 6-month wait. So if you can encourage them to do it the right way, it's so much easier. And particularly at this time of year where people are excited about Summit and they want to make a change and quick, and I want to be able to go to Summit and go to Ashley's party and not have to go to worry about going to this person's party. You can still go to Summit. You don't have to be a coach to go to Summit. So don't hesitate to just take the proper steps. And if you're at all concerned or think that you have some situation that warrants consideration, that you think some 6-month wait should be reduced, again, it's very rare that we do it, but there are circumstances where there's been a fraudulent enrollment in the first place. Somebody was misled or misinformed or scammed. On a very rare case, unfortunately, it does happen, but we will always review a concern so that we can make sure that everyone has a fair and equitable solution. And if there is truly an exigent circumstance, then we absolutely want to consider what we can do to help you.
Okay, this is so helpful. I have one more question, and that is about incentives and gifts and things like that. Like, what are the kind of things that we are allowed and not allowed to do to incentivize like our coaches or, challenger of the week or something in our boot camps, things like that? Are there rules around that?
So my favorite flavor of cookies is chocolate chip. No, I'm kidding. It's a great question because I think you guys are so creative when you're motivating your team, whether it's your current coaches, whether it's a challenge group. You always want to keep that spirit just moving. And so I love the creativity. I think a lot of the contests that we see are awesome and very unique. A lot of times we scratch our heads and think like, oh, we should have thought of that. But you guys get the bright idea first, so we let you run with that. With regards to your prizes or your incentives that you offer, you can never offer cash. Cash is never an incentive, particularly when it comes to recruiting. So as an example, if you're doing a push to emerald or a push to diamond or something where you're encouraging your team to start making their first enrollments of their personally sponsored coaches, you can't say like, hey, you know what, Emily, you're going to get a few more people. I mean, goes without saying, Emily is the recruiting wonderkind of wonderkins. You guys have an amazing organization when it comes to recruiting and just in awe of the activity that goes on. So that's so incredible. But when you're recruiting people, you can't ever offer a cash reward. Enroll with me this month. I'll give you $50 back as a refund for part of your product purchase. Or enroll with me, I'll give you a cash reward of $25. Giving cash, paying somebody because they recruited someone or paying someone because they were recruited into your business is a regulatory violation that's often referred to as pay to play. And it is a major no-no in the direct sales space. So please stay away from that. When it comes to challenge groups, if you want to do something where you throw a particular challenge out there, whether it's for the week or for the month, and truly whether it's related to a fitness challenge or a business challenge, and you say, hey, the top 3 Success Club point earners for the month of May will get a gift card to Lululemon. Great, you can absolutely do that. When you Deal with gift cards. Again, you want to deal with gift cards that don't have a cash value. So not an Amex gift card, not a Visa gift card, not a Visa debit card, but a gift certificate to Lululemon, a gift certificate to Amazon, a gift certificate to the retailer of your choice. Totally fine. If you're doing a gift card or a prize like that, we ask that it be a value of $50 or below, with the exception of whether you want to offer a Beachbody product, like you want to give away a bag of Shakeology. If you're giving away a Beachbody product, it can have a value up to the retail value of a bag of Shakeology, which, since we all buy it at a great Coach price, the retail value of a bag of Shakeology is $130. Where it comes to other prizes, since you brought it up, Ashley, one of the common things that I know is often popular is sort of the diet bet model. So everybody get in and everybody tosses $5 into the pot, and then the winner takes all, or maybe the top 3 people split the pool. There are specific guidelines in our policies, and Ashley, I'll send you the actual language because I think it's a great policy to share. You can put it in your team page or share it out with your team as you wish. But there are specific limitations in terms of the dollar value when it comes to a cash prize that's associated with a contest. And most of you, more and more, it seems like most people are doing gift cards and maybe another little sort of goodie or a great water bottle or a great something that's sort of associated with your daily lives. But where it comes to cash, there are definite limitations on how you can give cash as a prize. And the other piece of advice, just real quickly, that I would say is where you're creating sort of this excitement over a contest, when you write your rules for your contest, you guys know, if you spent any time looking at our summit page or the Success Club trip page or anything that's about a contest, you see our rules that are like 12 feet long. Write simple rules. Make it easy to ensure that your challengers or your coaches understand what the conditions are that apply. And also, as the person operating the contest, you don't want to have to calculate something for your team that you don't have the proper resources for. If you can't easily tabulate Success Club points for your team, you can't go to the Success Club team and be like, I need the report for the last 3 months for these coaches, because they can't support those kinds of requests. So work with something that you have the visibility to not only calculate, but verify. And the simpler you make the calculation portion of that, it's easier for you to properly vet who achieved the winner position. And it's also so much simpler and more encouraging, I think, for your challengers or your coaches to participate, because they know very clearly what's expected of them, and they can make a really simple decision and a great decision for themselves about, yeah, this is something that's totally up my alley right now for the goals I'm trying to achieve. Or like, you know what, I'm really working on building my business. I'm not gonna do this that's about a nutrition or a fitness goal, but it'll help them figure out what's right for them to participate in, and it'll help you officiate it in a way that you're not pulling your hair out. One just personal peeve, and I'll just share it with you as a word of advice and take it or leave it. Don't offer up your guest spot on the Success Club trip that you qualified for, like, especially because you may have somebody in your organization, even if it's a teammate, even if it's a new challenger you met on social media who you think is the coolest chick in the world. When you don't know somebody very well and you're spending a much treasured vacation with them in a small cabin on a boat that you can't get off of, or in a nice little resort that we took the whole place up and there is nowhere for you to go except there, you may want to consider who you're sharing space with so that you enjoy your vacation, they enjoy their vacation, you preserve a friendship and your sanity. So where you can avoid rewarding people with this sort of grandiose prize of, you're going to be my special guest on this Success Club trip that I qualified for, save that for your family, for your friends that you know well and have every confidence that you can really enjoy time together with, but don't do it as a stranger. There's too many challenging, sort of frustrating stories and frustrations that people have gone through, and we hate for you to have any moment of discourse on an event like that. And quite frankly, whether it's at Summit or a Success Club trip or something else, just enjoy the time and get the most out of your time, whether it's vacation or a great learning experience. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I muted
There you
myself.
are.
Okay, I feel like there's a few more, but we got so much information from you. And do people is there like a general compliance? I have compliance at teambeachbody.com. Is that
Absolutely. So compliance at Beachbody or compliance at Team Beachbody, either will work.
Okay.
That's our main mailbox. We will generally respond to you within about 24 to 48 hours. If you have something more urgent, Monday through Friday, we are here. Pick up the phone and call us. And if you have something that you're like, oh, I don't know if this is compliance or this is something else, you can always ask us. If it isn't something that's in our space, we'll direct you to the proper support team who can help you.
Yes, perfect. And there is always the policy and procedures for us to like verify things. But
absolutely.
This was so helpful, Jemima. Thank you so much for taking the
You're so welcome
to do this for us. I think I mean, just a lot of light bulb moments. And like you, I love Beachbody. I want it to be around, and I want us to all be doing it the right way and protect our company. So thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you at Summit.
Absolutely. See you in Indianapolis.
Okay, bye.
Bye.